Well, hello and welcome. Today we're in Warrenton, Virginia. We're at the Fauquier Education Farm. We're here with the Executive Director, Mr. Jim Hankins, and we're going to be talking about summer squash, Jim. And I know you grow a lot of things here, and I know summer squash is one of them. And I see the things you've got here to show us. Tell me about what you're growing.
We have a summer squash variety trial going on this summer. 10 different varieties planted here behind me. You know, most home gardeners have tried summer squash, but there's a lot more variety than just your typical yellow squash and zucchinis. So I wanted to show people the range of options that are available to them and show which varieties really perform better. There are some varieties that just are more difficult than others.
I gotcha. Yeah, you're right. This is a home garden favorite because they're usually pretty early, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're really early. You know, it takes about 45 to 50 days from when you plant the seed to when you're harvesting with most of the summer squash varieties. They're super easy in most respects. There are some major pest control problems. But again, your variety really matters. You know, there are some like the little older fashioned yellow crookneck squash. This is a wonderful squash. It's really tasty. If you turn your back on it just a little bit, it gets too hard and overgrown, you know, one extra day and it's not worth eating. Whereas you can find some of the newer varieties. These are multi-pick. This is a wonderful summer squash called Zephyr. These can get bigger. They can stay on the plant longer and still be really, really edible.
That's good. That's a really
you know, some of the other variety differences, you know, there's the old-fashioned patty pan. A lot of people don't even know what this is
Right.
or how to, you know, this can be used in any way that a regular summer squash can. But there's a whole host of new patty pans out there that were, you know, the colors, shapes, you know, there's so much to get people excited about. You know, you and I were talking just a little while ago about how a friend of mine had served these little yellow patty pans, hollowed out, stuffed with crab meat and served just like a stuffed mushroom. Oh my Lord, really, really wonderful. And, you know, we have, you know, zucchinis can be, you know, there are bright green zucchinis, yellow zucchinis, striped zucchinis. We unfortunately harvested this patch yesterday, so we didn't have that many to show. Zucchini Elite is just, you know, hands down my favorite one. But look at some of the other crazy ones. Sure. You're not going to get as many, but, you know, they're fun.
A lot of different types, a lot of varieties, I'm sure, out there. Yes. Now, any tips that you have, and you've got a great production area here, for a home gardener that wants to grow some of these, any special tips that you have?
You know, pest control is the major factor for summer squash, both squash bugs and squash vine borers. And I am very careful about which battles I choose to pick. You know, I don't want to have a garden that is so toxic with pesticides that the bugs aren't there. And the pressure is so hard on this summer squash that I find that the easiest way to stay in production is about every 3 weeks, plant another patch. Oh, okay. You know, this is our third patch in production this year, and I can point to a couple more that are still coming on that haven't even started to bloom, that by the time this patch gives up the ghost, yeah, I'll stay in production. But just by planting, you know, a home gardener, most families, 2 squash plants will provide them more squash than they can use. Right. So if every 3 weeks you plant another couple plants, right, and, you know, once the bugs have gotten to a plant, take it out of the garden. You know, destroy that plant, bury it in the compost heap. Gotcha. But get it out of the garden.
Makes sense. Perfect tips there. I understand that. Now, you've been growing these for a while, for several years. What are some of your favorites? What do you like as far as these varieties?
You know, Zucchini Elite, Zephyr Squash, okay, and Multi-Pick. Okay. These are my production summer squash varieties. Okay. These others are for show.
Okay. You know, they don't yield as much.
For feeding people, those 3 will keep you in food for years, or for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. Thanks for letting us come out and talk about the summer squash you're growing. We really appreciate it.
Always welcome.
Well, for more information about raising summer squash in the garden, please contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.